Welcome back, listeners, and I just wanted to mention a few things before the podcast. On March 18th and 19th, we'll be having our second art show at the Dirty Water Distillery on Water Street in Plymouth. If you're interested in submitting a piece, just follow our Facebook page. There'll be information posted when the time comes. And if you're interested in coming to the art show, again, it'll be on the 18th and 19th. It'll run from 12 to 5. You'll be able to cast votes for People's Choice. There'll be trophies given away and some ribbons and some prize money, and you'll be able to get to check out some cool art and taste some excellent booze. Come down to the Dirty Water Distillery and check out our second biannual art show.
She's always, like, classy as fuck when she's drinking tequila in Facebook. Like she does.
Oh, yeah, I've seen those. Okay.
Classy as fuck.
All right, so we are back here again at our home away from home at the craft beer cellar. Am I being loud enough?
Yeah, I can actually see.
Okay, so the blue lines say I'm being loud enough. Shh, we're being watched. Okay, so anyways, we're being watched, and we are here with Amber.
Hello.
Who is one of our models who we've had actually since the second Inebri-art life drawing, and who's also recently become a blogger.
Yes.
So, Amber, talk to me about your blog. What was your idea behind your blog?
I'm gonna be the first to say I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing, but it's Gypsy.
There's a lot of that. That's kind of like the Inebri-art mantra. Is we just kind of close our eyes and run forward.
Basically, it's gypsyinspace.com. And it's basically like a combination of my modeling and then traveling, because for 2 months this summer I basically lived in my car and just drove around, and I figure I could write about this shit.
Well, that was kind of that. Like when we first met you, that was kind of things that I found most interesting. Is you basically were living like a gypsy, traveling from Ren Fair to Ren Fair.
Yes.
When did that start?
That was actually 4 years ago.
You've only been doing the Ren Fair thing for 4 years?
No, I've been doing that for...
I was going to say, we've only been doing Inebri-art three and a half, and I feel like you had some gypsy experience. That sounds terrible, but I don't know what else to call
experience. I've been doing Ren Fair since I was like 14, so it's been 11 years. But the actual traveling with it's been 4 years now.
Okay.
It was...
And you went all over.
Like yeah.
Louisiana, you went out, Nevada?
No,
New Mexico?
No, not with the Ren Fair.
Oh, okay.
With the Ren Fair, I did Florida, and then I did Tennessee,
How many states have you been to?
A lot. I couldn't put a number on it.
Number?
At least 30. I mean, I don't necessarily know that I've stopped in all of them, but at the very least, like at a rest stop, but...
Yeah. So you started with, I'm assuming, King Richard's Fair, working there.
Yes. I was actually named in that parking lot to, like, completely nerd out.
You were named?
My mom came up with my name.
Oh, shut up. Legitimately?
Like, legit.
You were named? That's weird.
So the story goes, she looked at my dad and went, I came up with her name, and after she laughed at him when he thought he might have a say in it, she said, it's going to be Amber Rose.
Oh, wow. So, like, the Ren Fair thing is, like, in your blood?
Basically.
Okay. That's no argument there. So, you worked at King Richard's Fair. At what point did you decide to start kind of hitting the road? And
I was dating a guy who, like, he had been on the road before and wanted to go back on the road. And I was like, well, I hate winter, so that sounds like a thing. And... living in a tent is not as hard as you think if you get a really good, like, air mattress and electricity. It's really not that bad.
So when you do these Ren Fairs, you basically live out in the woods, like, beside the Ren Fair? Or
yeah,
is there,
basically.
Like, campgrounds, or just...
Basically, although in Florida, it's, like, a park, and it's really weird because people can jog through it and shit.
Like a park.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. So, based on these travels, you've kind of, every once in a while, see your Facebook be like, I'm leaving. Like, you're going to England in, what, like 2 weeks?
Yeah, that's because I am a Black Sabbath fangirl, and that's their final show.
Right.
And, like, the rest of the England trip, I kind of let my friend Janelle plan out, because she's going with me, and I was like, you know what I care about is Sabbath, so you and I are on the same wavelength, I'm sure the rest of it'll be great.
Yeah, and so you just kind of go.
Basically.
And so will you be blogging from your trip?
I'm gonna try to.
Okay.
But I don't know how the Wi-Fi works over there. I've heard that, like, American devices don't work in England, but that might be bullshit.
Oh, I never even thought of that. That, like, never occurred to me. But that is kind of the idea behind your blog, is it's your travels.
Yeah, my travels, and then, like, random modeling, and just basically whatever falls out of my skull and onto the page.
How did you get from Ren Fair to modeling?
Modeling I've actually been doing since I was 18. My friend Kathy had me escort her to a photo shoot, and then I ended up working with that photographer at a later date, and I'm like, well, this is awesome, and kind of went from there.
Yeah.
And
which, being someone who regularly employs models, I encourage models on that first time, please bring an escort. There's always the, oh, this is my friend Steve, he just wanted to... No, just, you can be like, this is the guy to make sure that I return alive, and I'm totally cool with that. We've had a couple, we get more now than we did before, but we're getting, like, recommendations, like, oh, so-and-so told me about you guys. That's fine. But, I mean, there were times when I was just on Facebook being like, hey, do you want to show up at our modeling thing? And they would just show up without someone, and you're like, this makes me uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. There's just something about the more people, the merrier. And
yeah.
If any, like, would you say that's valid to, like, for a female or even a guy wanting to get into modeling situation?
I would say just be straight up with the photographer, with the person drawing, and that, you know, if it's your first time modeling, you should be like, hey, haven't really modeled before, I would prefer an escort to come with me. And it is possible, though, for the photographer to have had a bad experience. Like, I've heard horror stories where the escort went through and, like, the guy's got the studio in his house.
Yeah.
And the escort goes and rummages through his shit, and, like, stuff's missing. So it's iffy,
like, that never even occurred to me, because, I mean, we always do it in a public place, but... Which almost is one of those, the more the merrier, you know, so you have an escort, I have a buddy.
Yeah.
You know, let's make sure it's all on the level and everyone... But I feel like if someone was like, you know, don't bring an escort, that'd be like a flag.
That's a bit sketchy. If they don't have a good reason for it, then there's, like, it's just not... I wouldn't do it.
Yeah. And if you ever feel uncomfortable, I feel like that's the...
Oh, yeah, and then if you feel uncomfortable, you can't, like, give a good shot. Like,
right.
Part of modeling is you got to be able to make a decent facial expression. If you're too nervous to look sexy, then there's a problem.
Yeah. And from the other person's standpoint is, like, you want what you want. So, like, my thing is to make you guys feel comfortable. What do you need? Do you need some water? Do you want to... I want to say you want a beer, because that sounds like terrible.
No, don't do that. Do not.
Do you want a beer? Have this one with a roofie. That sounds terrible.
Talk to the microphone.
Yeah,
Funky
I'm
cold
sorry.
Medina.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's not the right thing to say. So if you're trying to get a model, don't offer them beer.
No. Not the first time.
Yeah. No, that was
not till you develop a rapport. That's
like, I can offer you beer, that's fine.
Yeah, you don't offer her beer, you offer her tequila.
That's because tequila is the life.
So... Is there anywhere that you haven't traveled to that you're like... I feel like bucket list is, like, now a term.
Oh, God.
Like, my 14-year-old be like, oh, it's on my bucket list. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? How can you have a bucket list? You're 14.
It's a very big bucket.
It's got to be a huge bucket.
I mean, at 25, I have a bucket list, especially since I find it miraculous that I made it this long.
Okay.
But there are so many places, like, especially different Asian countries. I actually... I was hanging out with some of the guys in Power Man 5000 by accident.
Oh, you went and saw them, like, what, 2 weeks ago?
Twice.
But, like, recently?
Yeah, it was a couple... Yeah. I bumped into one of them at the bar, and then, like, they turned out to be super cool, and the bassist was like, oh, you gotta go to the Great Wall of China, and, like, go to the part that isn't all touristy, and so now I'm like, well, shit, never thought of that till now.
You gotta go.
Yeah. So... a lot of stuff in other countries I want to go to. There's some stuff in the U.S. I want to go to. Hawaii. If I could spend my life traveling, I'd rather do that than get a house, because it's not like I got kids to leave it to, so...
Yeah. Is there, like, one place that you'd love to get back to?
Arizona.
Really?
Absolutely. There is something about that. Arizona and actually Yellowstone. Those two places... something about the Red Rocks in Arizona, and it's just so... like, the lightning there could kill you, and yet you feel so relaxed about it.
Oh, the lightning can kill you.
No, I mean, like, this is, like, lightning that, like, it looks like fucking... I can't... you can't even explain this shit. It's, like, the thickest lightning I've ever seen.
Okay.
It, like, you know how usually it's, like, just... like a line?
I'm doing this and no one can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this lightning's like a thicker line. I sound like an ass. It was intimidating.
Yeah.
But it was pretty incredible. And then Yellowstone, there's just so many. And you think, oh, the geysers are all going to look the same. No. They all look different, and they're all amazing. So those two places I would like to go back to.
So what was your regular route on the Ren Fair?
I didn't really have a regular route, because I did Florida once, went up to Tennessee, came back home. I think I skipped a year. Can't remember, everything friggin' blends. But then went to, I did the Texas show by Austin Sherwood, which I highly recommend. Mm-hmm. And then, the hell did I do? Tennessee again. Came back home, did Connecticut. I did the Great Lakes show in Ohio. Actually, I think I did that somewhere in there. And then, I did the Texas Renaissance Festival by Houston, which is, like, the biggest one in the country.
Houston's supposed to be, like, a super cool place.
It's interesting.
No, is it Austin?
Austin.
Austin's a super cool
Austin's place. Awesome. Houston is, like, oil money and not that exciting.
Yeah, Houston's not...
Houston's not the cool place?
I've been to Houston.
Cool. Okay.
Houston is all Denny's and strip clubs and Reliant Stadium.
Basically.
But, like, not cool strip clubs.
I mean, I've never been to a strip club, which actually... I might be doing in England, so English strippers, hell yeah, to get off topic for a second.
You've never been to a strip... So, I was to a strip club in Canada, and that was a very strange experience. There was no cover charge, but you had to tip the bouncer to get in.
Okay.
And it literally boiled down to us being like, well, how much are we supposed to tip you? I can't tell you how much to tip me.
Here's $1.
But then we're like, all right, and like, here's $10. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. We're like, well, we just want to go inside. Just tell us how much. It was weird. And then, like, for those listeners who haven't been to a strip club, there's a stage and you sit at the stage. This was like, there was a stage on the other side of the room, and all the tables were like a good 10 yards away from it. It was a very weird place.
That's intriguing.
So I don't know if that was like the Canadian strip club experience or that strip club experience. But it was weird. It was a weird time. But if you have you been to Montreal?
No.
You should go to Montreal. Montreal is crazy. They drink like it's the end of the world. And it was, well, we went on St. Paddy's Day, but it was like
I didn't think St. Patty's Day would be a big deal in Montreal.
I wouldn't think so,
but it was. And the whole street was partying, all the way down the street. Everything is open. I think we had pizza delivered at 3 in.
That's awesome.
And it was very cool. And there's a whole mall system underground.
That's so
but it's not advertised, not mall entrance. You go into one store and there's stairs in the back of it that you go down, and it's subway tunnels that lead out to other stores and little shops. It was a very weird thing.
I did not see the need to go to Montreal till this moment. Yeah, that sounds awesome.
It was a lot of fun, but and I was a little naive. I'm all the signs, they speak English there too. They do, but all the street signs are French. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I would recommend it.
That sounds awesome.
And so it was March, so there it was the dead of winter.
It's cold there in the. I went to Alberta, which is from what the.
I feel that's further up.
Oh, that's not one of the ones that's north. It's the above Montana.
Was it named after an animal Moose Jaw or?
No, but there were towns near there named. There was some ridiculous one that was Medicine Hat.
Oh yeah, that's a big hockey town, I think.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I couldn't stop laughing when I read that name for some reason.
I don't know how that town came up with that name, but that's a big hockey town.
I assume it was an Indian term.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Man, I am not as loud on this mic as I am on the old one.
No, you're not showing.
I don't know if I can hear me from here.
Oh, nice.
So
this is a new mic, and the old one, I would be sitting here talking to the guest. You wouldn't hear me or the guest.
If I mouth off,
he'd clear his throat, and it would be crystal clear.
Yeah.
So we talked about your Ren Fair. Modeling, what has been the most... So you've traveled to model, too.
Yes. I have gone to...
Oh, congratulations. You're going to be on a calendar or something.
Yeah, it's just he's making it for friends and models and whatnot.
Oh,
but
okay,
it's
so it's not it's still cool.
It's still cool.
Yeah.
I have there's a naked picture of me that's going to be, next January. I can be Happy New Year, that's me.
It's going to be up on a auto shop wall somewhere. I feel that's where those calendars go.
Yeah. Basically.
You'll be next to a Pennzoil poster.
Mission accomplished. I feel classy as fuck. That was in Utah.
That was in Utah?
Yeah, and you get to a point in modeling where you stop giving a fuck about an escort. If you've done it long enough, you can kind of see through the bullshit, and you're if I'm going to die, I'm going to die. I don't even care anymore.
Okay.
Or maybe that's just me.
Maybe that's you. I don't want to promote that.
That is terrifyingly nihilistic.
Bring an escort.
Bring an escort. I'm not normal.
Yeah.
But it's this awesome dude and his wife who's from, I want to say Vietnam. Mm-hmm. And they got this big van. And we're going out backroading in BLM land. Just me, this dude, and his wife.
I'm so waiting for this not to sound
sketchy. I can't tell if it's this is the beginning of a horror story or an episode of Breaking Bad.
So here's the thing: if anyone thought her was telling this story, I'd assume she was dead at the end of it.
Yeah.
The next line would be, and they found her body 6 weeks later.
And then we cooked up some blue meth.
Oh my god. But the whole time I'm going out there's part of me that's you could die, but the road is so bumpy that all I'm doing is laughing my ass off because it's a roller coaster. My inner child is full blown just enjoying the hell out of this. You know what, if this is my last ride, this is hella fun.
I'm gonna die. Whee!
Basically.
So I've done that.
But it was cool because at the end of it, they spend so much time camping that he brought, I guess they had, hiked out there and whatnot.
Yeah.
Brought me over to this rock that, because it's BLM land, they don't have it, sectioned off.
What is BLM land?
Bureau of Land Management.
Okay.
And,
I'm asking for our listeners, not for me. I totally knew.
It's okay, this is why I'm the research department, because
I
know shit.
Big lesbian... No, that's not it.
I mean, it can be.
Depends on who's Googling.
Yeah.
Nice. But there was this rock with all these Native American drawings and whatnot on it.
Oh, really?
And it was just right there in the middle of nothing, and it was, I don't know, there was something about it that was just gorgeous, that like this untouched thing that is clearly...
Well, the pictures that I've seen on Facebook are unbelievable. It's like the sky is, and I don't know this guy. I'm not saying he touched stuff up with Photoshop, but it's like the bluest sky, and the sand's amazing, and
he really didn't use much Photoshop with it.
It looked like, because they're gorgeous pictures.
That's probably one of the shoots that I am like the most proud of, as far as like the fact that I worked with him. Like, he did a little bit of Photoshop touch up, but most of it, the sky is actually that blue out there.
It's crazy how blue it is.
The colors are incredible. Like, I actually went back on a few of my personal like shitty cell phone photos, and I'm like, wow, the colors really were that great.
It's funny, is like I was in when I was a kid, I was in the Bahamas, and the water is so clear that, like, if we were on a cruise ship, looking over the edge, you're looking at the bottom of the ocean, and you're like, there's not enough water to float. That, like, it's so clear that your brain just can't register it. It's like, that shouldn't happen.
It's like when I was driving through Montana the whole time, like, you get out of Yellowstone and you're like in big sky country, and there's a reason they call it that. I was literally like, I felt like my cat, I brought her outside one time and she kept like ducking down and looking up at the sky like this isn't possible.
Like, you felt like the sky was weighing in on you?
I just felt like the sky was too big. Like, it was just, there's too much sky. It's
weird.
This bizarre experience where I'm like ducking down in my car like, I'm gonna float away, this is insane.
Is there, like, one part of the country that you feel is, like, the most beautiful? Like,
it's all beautiful in its own way.
have you seen Boston Harbor? Really?
I mean, if you like desolate and horrible.
I don't know if that's true.
Well, even in, like, there's this thing in, like, this place in California called the Salton Sea, where it's basically, like, this salt basin that they, like, flooded it, and because man touched it, it's all fucked up. And
that can't happen.
Oh, no, not at all. You go outside, it smells like rotting garbage because it's been stagnant for so long.
Awesome.
So anyway, Boston Harbor.
Yeah, why did Boston Harbor make her think of that?
Right? But, it's got, like, there's just graffiti everywhere, and, you know, there's, like, all these, like, trailers and shit, like, just welded together, and that's beautiful in its own way. So it depends
there's,
on,
like mobile home trailers?
Yes, they've basically made these mobile home mansions that they welded together, and like the land out there is so cheap that it's actually like they have billboards for like $200 a month because nobody wants to be there.
It's so funny. A friend of mine, like years and years ago, moved out to Chicago, and he was paying the same amount of rent in Chicago that I was paying in East Bridgewater. And
what?
I'm like, that doesn't seem right. He's like, if you get outside of Chicago, there's nothing.
Not right now. I've been to Chicago.
He's like, it's just grown up out of a cornfield. He's like, so there's plenty of room. If the housing is too expensive, they build more.
Yeah, basically.
And around here, it's not like that. There's nowhere to build.
No, I mean, and
It's been settled a lot longer.
Well, yeah.
Well, plus there's
Well, this is Plymouth. It's been settled since the beginning.
There's old money here too, so like they can afford to charge outlandish prices for housing.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
So if you had to not be a gypsy, where would you settle? Like, where?
Oh God!
Gun to your head.
I mean, somewhere warm. I love the area outside of Austin. Either maybe Austin or Arizona. Like, I would love to settle in California, but it's too damn expensive.
So, like, you grew up around here, but you're not.
Hell
like,
no!
You don't like snow.
Fuck this cold shit.
Yeah, what is with you? I don't get that.
Well, it's also like, I was a fat kid, and then I lost, like, 80 pounds, and now my body's like, what is this? I hate you.
Well, I can see that being an adjustment, because it is chilly.
I'll let you know when I lose 80 pounds.
She lost it. I found it. So, what do you want from this blog? When you started, like, what was your...
My idea...
And I asked this because when I start stuff, I have no end game.
I really don't have an
Or
end game
mid-game.
for
Mid-game,
it.
it's just like,
Starting
that sounds like
game,
fun.
or,
Yeah.
Let's do this. Fish, how do I do this?
No, it's more like, hey, we're doing this. Fish, figure it out. It's techie.
It's like, we're going to do a podcast. How? Yeah, you'll get
Hey,
it.
this is like episode 20-something, borderline
Wow.
30.
I know by now I should
Yeah.
be competent.
Good mic. No, the microphone is good.
Oh, don't worry.
Yeah.
99% of our listeners are not going to know my real name anyway.
Anyways. Give us a question.
I forget what the
End game.
Endgame. So,
yes.
yeah, like,
I vaguely have an idea of, like, I would like it to be what supports me as far as, like, I can get sponsored or, like, make a book or something where I don't have to, like, edit anymore, and
Yeah.
I can just write random experiences about waking up to energy drinks and falling asleep to pot and tequila, and that's my job in random
sounds
places.
like the end game to me.
If I can accomplish this by the time
Yeah.
I'm 30, I'm golden.
Nice.
So that I got a 5-year plan of God knows what. I'm hoping to get sponsored by my favorite energy drink brand, but God knows.
Which would be?
Sambazon, Amazon Energy.
I'm sorry, Amazon has an energy drink?
No,
Like,
it's Sambazon. It's Sambazon. And they have this, it's the Amazon energy drink. They have, like, acai berries. The only bad ingredient
It's like a
really
giant
is, like...
purple can of caffeine.
Yeah.
Like, I've never heard of this.
It's liquid, delicious happiness that just makes life worth living.
Is it carbonated?
Yes.
I don't like carbonated energy drinks.
Any
I can't
is
stand
it
them.
a sugary product? Or?
It is, but they have a stevia one. That's a mixer for me.
Okay. I don't really, like, I have maybe had 2 energy drinks in my... Wait, do 5-hour energy count?
No, they're shots.
Okay. I've had maybe 2 energy drinks in my entire life.
I've had 3 today.
Yeah, well...
I'm still awake at time of recording.
I like the regular ones that you can get at the convenience store, but
Yeah.
I mean, these ones cost the same, and they don't, you know.
So
it's
these
not,
like mail order.
They're like
yes.
that big. They look huge, or do you just have
Have you
tiny hands?
contacted them?
I
feel
have
like,
tiny hands. They're
Okay.
oh no, eventually I will.
Yeah, I feel like
Once I get a following, I will, and
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll get a following with the absolute insanity that
so. For our listeners who may want to follow you, you are on Facebook.
I'm on Facebook.
You're on Twitter.
No. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram,
Instagram,
and I'm on... I can't deal
What
with
is,
Twitter.
what is your Instagram?
It's gypsy_in_space.
Gypsy. Okay. And Facebook is, if they Google Gypsy in
Facebook is
Space.
Amber Moses, blogger at Gypsy in Space.
Okay.
But the gypsy and in are like one word.
Is that a spacing thing?
I don't... it's because, like, they wouldn't let me just put gypsy in the title. So I think because it's technically kind of derogatory to, like, certain groups, you can't use it.
It's one of those. See, part of the problem here is I am a white male, so I can say nothing without being horribly racist, and I'm going to do my best not to be. I feel like gypsy is a term like Jew that can be used both as a description
Yes.
and a derogatory term.
Basically.
Did I do okay there? I feel
Yeah,
like
you did.
I'm like a
You did.
white male.
Ask the other white guy in the room
Okay.
if you're okay.
I think you did fine.
So your
yeah.
hate mail can be sent to Inebri-art at yahoo.com. I really did my best not to like offend anybody.
Yeah, but Romani in space just does not flow well.
But
No.
but I feel like that's an accurate description. Like it is.
I mean,
It's very much in the
it's
tone
a-
in which you say it.
It's an. I was really trying not to have a tone. I had no tone.
No,
But it's like it's like an ethnic.
not the you, the general humanity you. Like,
Okay.
I'm so lost right
I
now.
don't know.
This is delightful.
So it's a ethnic description, and can also be used as a slur.
kind of.
Okay.
Like,
I saw Go Go Bordello, and I really enjoyed them. Don't judge me. Is that racist? I hope it's not
Oh my
racist.
God.
I really like them.
the instant you ask, is that racist? Yes, it was.
I don't know. I don't mean it to be.
God, the show notes for this are going to be fucking awful.
Pretty much.
Like, Andy is sorry. Andy is very sorry.
I just talk, and then you have to like make it okay in the show notes.
It's like it's all links. And
So, anyways,
apologies.
so they won't let you use gypsy because it could potentially be a slur.
yeah, but they put gypsy in together on Facebook, but then they let me do it on Instagram, so clearly Instagram gives no fucks.
Instagram is super racist.
Well, I feel like
And yeah, I'm editing
I
that
feel
out,
like
too.
there is a sliding scale where like Facebook is
I think it's a scale issue. Like, with
well,
Facebook is
Face-
big enough that they have to care.
Facebook, like your
Instagram
grandma
is
can
a
be
little
on.
smaller.
Is your grandma on Facebook, Angel?
Actually, she is.
See,
Is she on
Facebook?
Instagram?
Is she's not,
85.
but she's on Facebook.
Thank you for making our point.
So Facebook has to like bear in mind that they have 85-year-olds getting a Facebook page,
This is true.
and Instagram and Twitter not so much.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, Twitter's kind of like the Wild West. There's
I
all sorts of shit.
I
Twitter
cannot
likes-
get into Twitter. It's just too the tweets are just it's
Part of my job is to do Twitter, and there's been horrible things on my computer screen at work that would definitely get me fired. That you're like, I didn't know.
I didn't write that. The president did.
I just no, not that shit. But like you're like, I just followed someone and they posted flat out hardcore porn,
oh dear God.
and it's been up on my computer. And like I didn't know.
See, that's the kind of
His
shit
name
that you
just-
expect from Tumblr.
Yeah, but his name's just Stephen Wright. No, it's not Stephen Wright because he's just. But you know, it's just a dude's name, and you'll follow him. That's who I was thinking of.
Yeah.
But you'll follow him, and next thing you know, that like legitly, there's been hardcore video porn up in my work news feed, and you're like, whoa!
Andy?
I'm like covering it, trying to delete it at the same time, and you're like, I didn't know he was going to post that.
I didn't know Twitter you could do
probably
shit
tried
like
to-
that.
Yes, it's yes.
Hide it and he's busy.
Yeah, you can't do two hands and delete and stuff.
I mean, you
at the
could
same
try
time.
to move the mouse with your face, but it usually doesn't.
I feel like I don't feel like that'd work because then your hands wouldn't be blocking the porn because you would be looking down.
Well, you're not hiding the
And unfortunately, my computer is really exposed to everyone in the office,
Oh my God.
and it's like a
Andy?
really bad spot.
Andy?
Yes.
Does Suncor Stainless follow me on Twitter?
Do they follow you on Twitter? I don't think so.
Wow.
Why, are you posting porn?
I will now.
Well, I'm gonna unfollow you at work then. Thank you for
Oh
dropping
my
the
God.
name of my company.
Oh, please, this won't make the show.
Yeah.
The perk
You
of
say
editing.
that all the time. I don't really care what makes the show because I haven't said anything
Oh, it
bad.
show- oh, don't
other
worry.
than I accidentally followed some dude that posted porn. That's not my fault. But you'll even like kind of get these.
Oh, that's not. Oh, the accidentally's not going to make the show.
Yeah, that'll get deleted out. But you even get kind of like these people that post sort of suggestive stuff that then you have to delete. And it's
All I know is like it's just too complicated
yeah.
for me to
If
handle.
someone really wanted to follow, like stand over my shoulder, I would have lost my job like 6 months ago.
Oh, yes.
Does a bigly job.
Very bigly with my small hands. And Deadpool taught us one thing: it makes it look bigger.
Oh my God.
I am vain.
Who invited you?
My work.
All right, fair enough.
She's the one who's supposed to be here right now.
I feel like this is going to be the most gibberish
edit me out,
podcast
it's fine.
ever.
Oh, don't worry.
That's how I roll.
All right, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
I have no idea where we were in this conversation.
Something about my blog and
Maybe. How
Twitter.
Did we contact you for an Inebri-art, or did you contact us? I think we might have contacted you.
Sarah
It was month
Sarah
two,
Michelle.
so I
Sarah Michelle,
assume
right.
We were pretty-
She sent me a text. She's like, "Oh, these guys have life art drawing. You want to go?" And blah blah blah. And I'm like, hell yeah, I want to do that.
Have you worked with Jennifer Evie?
Here and there, like
Yeah.
we've modeled at the same shoot.
Because
Before-
I've noticed there's a string of our models, like we own them.
We rent them.
I always hate being like, oh, I've used her. That sounds terrible.
The price is right.
Yeah. So our listeners will need to know they can email Amber for a price.
I'm not cheap.
So apparently a string of our models also work with a string of models who do some sort of bog.
That's me. I do
quicksand.
that. I do
You
that. Yes, I do.
Sarah Michelle does that. Jennifer Evie's done that.
Oh my god.
What's the story with the quicksand,
It's
muddy
actually
prom dress?
It's actually a fetish, believe it or not.
I get it, Well, I don't get it. I understand that it is a fetish.
We just roll with it.
I don't.
Like, if that's somebody's thing.
If it
cool.
exists, there's a fetish.
Yeah,
If it exists,
Rule of the internet.
Rule 34.
Yes.
I get that. But so who did Sarah recommend you for that? Or
No,
first
actually,
of all, we love Sarah.
I love her. She's such a sweetie.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have not. Sarah is a wonderful friend of ours and is actively working on staying sober. So we have intentionally not invited her to Inebri-art because Inebri-art and staying sober does not go hand in hand.
No, I mean, yeah, no.
So we love her and we wish for the best for her. But so how? Sorry, sidetrack. Back to the muddy prom dress.
Actually, one of the second photographers I ever worked with was the guy who originally did Damsels in Distress,
which is the thing we're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he, the fact that he worked with me when I was still heavy was incredible because not a lot of photographers were willing to work with me, and it was like this. It was a fetish shoot. It was like death by whatever. And the first shoot that I did with him, I'm friggin' tied up with, like, there's another model there. I'm all, like, gothed out in this PVC dress. And she, like, the whole, like, premise of this shoot is I'm gonna die because I'm choking on honey. And this is a fetish. This is a fetish where girls, like, die... Or sometimes they're rescued, but sometimes they die. And
on honey specifically?
Well, like this was like a
or just kind of like damsels in distress.
Damsels in distress.
The rule of that is yes. The answer is always yes.
No, I'm asking.
There are some pretty specific.
Some of our listeners may be interested.
Sometimes it's vague and sometimes
some
it's
of our
specific.
Listeners might find out things about themselves they did not know.
Like, what is this website?
And you're welcome.
Yeah.
But he ended up. I worked with him a couple times, and one of them was a quicksand fetish where you like either are rescued or you get yourself out or you sink and die in quicksand.
I'm more concerned the only air quotes we got on that are rescued. And
that
sink
was
and
weird,
die was
yeah.
just normal. I'm like, wow.
But she's not dead because she's here. Now...
she got rescued.
Yeah, rescued.
How do you feel about that yourself?
I'm okay. Like, I've made a rule with myself that I won't do anything explicit, and the worst I've done with those is topless.
Okay.
So...
But it like, do you... Like, I'm trying to figure out the question I want to ask.
You can be blunt. It's me.
No, it's just... No, I know I can be blunt. You heard the Boxing Day special. I can say all kinds of crazy shit. I'm like, almost trying to figure out the question I want to ask. Like, do you feel... And see, I'm asking this knowing the answer, but I want to make it explicitly clear for our customers, our listeners. Do you feel that encourages a violence towards women?
I think it helps prevent it.
How so? We got super deep all of a sudden.
If you think about it, sometimes the only outlet that these guys have is to watch it, choke the chicken, and move on. And
I think that's like very assuming they all have chickens, but go on.
I've heard of some that are actually really violent, like requires a makeup artist who
like borderline snuff.
Yeah, borderline snuff, but the girl doesn't die. I mean, there's some with choking and everything, but these guys want an outlet where they got girlfriends who, if they're horrified to tell that they have these fetishes too, even if they did it in a controlled way, or it's so violent that if they don't watch it, what if they, went out and did something like this?
You feel like this is like a
safe outlet.
A safe outlet for them?
Yeah.
I don't know if that works out. That was just a random question. This got like super deep all of a sudden.
Got deep.
Sorry. It went from like ha 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 to wow, that's really serious. But that, I mean, I suppose that's valid and that's cool. So you said you don't do anything explicit.
No, I don't. I'm not.
So-
I don't do anything that I could consider porn.
Okay.
Like it's for me.
And
It's,
so you set up these rules.
They're in my head, really.
But, well, yeah. Where else would you keep them? But you have kind of like your own set rules, and kind of those money can't buy these rules.
Yeah, exactly.
This is where it ends. Do you think it's important that everyone kind of finds that line themselves and like prior to?
Oh, definitely. I mean,
Like, it's not something you should do on the fly.
no, because there are incidents where it's like if I hadn't thought of it beforehand, I would have probably like in the moment like, oh hell yeah, for an extra $100. But because I had thought of it, I'm like, no, that's not enough money for that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Because, I have kids and I'm always like, yeah, I understand this is a weird segue. But
No,
like,
I just wait for Liam to listen to this one.
God. Sorry, Liam. Daddy loves you. But like, I always want these to be like important to people. Like, I'd love for someone to come away with some sort of information that would help them. And even if it's like that, I should set up my ground rules ahead of time and don't, because on the fly is never a good thing.
No.
Never, ever, ever.
No,
For
I mean,
anything, really.
no, I've made such like decisions on the fly. Where
Bad
it's-
decisions always come on the fly. There's no one ever like, these are my ground rules, and bad decisions happens. It's like, fucking sure, I'll try it.
Sure,
That's
Yeah.
my-
Mechanical bull. God, fuck.
Oh, that was so good. I'll show you that video later. But, so, all in all, Angela keeps coming down staring at me.
Angela's very
Love
bored
is a
right now.
strange thing.
A professional could carry on with the show and not recognize
First of
that.
all, the
First of
fact
all,
that you
Colin-
think we're professional is ridiculous. And what were we talking about?
Look, the number
Something about limits and not by
yeah,
the-
but I think it's important that regardless of what profession you're in, you should kind of have that discussion with yourself ahead of time. Like, what do I want to do? Where do I want to draw the line?
And you got to be willing to get weird with it. Like situations that may never happen, you got to be like, if I'm ever offered like this for this, then I'm not going to do it.
But it's fun. It's that kind of situations that never happen. I've had this conversation several times, and very recently we've had a situation that we had to discuss. I got this advice from Bruce Campbell.
Yes.
Yes, I knew you would appreciate that. In an interview where when you're sitting down to determine a business agreement, you think of the most irrational kind of long-term, I'm writing a story. Well, who gets the action figure rights?
That's actually a good point.
And it's that if we figure it out when there's no money on the table, it's super easy. Like, oh, well, you did this, and you should get X amount of dollars, X percentage of dollars. It's really easy to figure out when there's no money on the table.
And then the money
When there's $9 million sitting on the table, it's suddenly like, well,
I mean, once you hit like $50, it becomes an issue. Cause
absolutely. Once there's
you
money
start,
displayed.
when you're
Yep.
splitting up like imaginary money, everybody's the nicest guy.
Yes.
When you start splitting up like actual cash,
So
people are.
Andy's advice for our listeners: figure that out before there's any money involved,
Yes.
and get it in writing. Regardless, I don't care if it's your best friend. It just avoids fights.
It avoids.
It makes
people
everybody happy.
It avoids people misremembering things.
Yes,
because
very
that can
much.
happen. It's like, well, I remember us saying, no, we
Yeah.
never said that.
So there's stuff coming for Inebri-art down the line, in the very very near future. I think.
What are we doing?
This is March. This is coming up March, so there's stuff coming up. I'm not announcing anything, but there's stuff.
I know, but it would be
there's-
nice if you told me about things.
I don't tell you anything, and you should know that by now.
There's a lot of, we're doing
First
this.
of all, Fish's job is really like figure shit out and dodge information as I throw it at you.
There's been a lot of,
It's kind of like, oh, really? What? That's now?
I have found out
yeah.
about things when the Facebook event goes live.
That was one time, two times, and I apologize. I have
There's a lot of, we're doing a reception. Oh, we are?
I have a lot of things in the air. So don't tell me I have one job.
No, I have one job. You have
one job. Deal with my shit. That is your one job. Deal with my shit.
You don't pay me enough.
No, you don't. No, I don't. So yeah, we have deals in the makings that hopefully our listeners will be checking out in the near future when we announce them.
Are you going to share with the rest of the class?
No.
By that, I mean your help.
You know about things that you were fucking there.
I drink a lot, Andy.
Well, where were we earlier today that we had another conversation with someone else? See, this is complete gibberish to people listening, and it's zero information.
Oh, this is delightful
You're
to
not going
watch.
to edit it out at all.
This is delightful.
Look, Andy, if there's anything we know is that I edit out the stuff that makes me look bad.
Right. So I'm just going to look
Nothing
at
else, but stuff that makes me look bad never makes
Amber,
the episode.
I believe you were asked to write for the Inebri-art blog.
Yes.
Okay, so let's redirect this line of questioning to you.
I'm still thinking about what creative thing I could write.
It is a very open forum. We have no
guidelines, standards,
direction. Standards is a good one. I have no
concept.
standards.
I mean, it's literally you can write stuff. We'll make it
so
work.
We had our conversation about you writing for that, and then you started a blog. Was there some sort of hey, I can do that kind of?
I've been thinking about this legit for months.
Yeah.
And then
I take full credit, by the way.
I watched Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas again.
I love that movie.
I love Hunter S. Thompson so much that it hurts. The way that supposedly his ashes got shot out of a cannon.
Over
the Grand Canyon.
And Johnny Depp did his eulogy.
Yeah, and I've actually told my brother, I'm like, if you can make that happen, I will leave you money.
First of all,
that is not
Inebri-art can make that happen. Legally, I don't know, but I feel like we can do that.
I think you and I could road trip out to the Grand Canyon and find a cannon.
Define cannon.
I know a guy.
I know plenty of guys.
Yeah,
but define cannon.
As long as it
is something
on a scale.
Is air pressure count?
Like siege equipment to I don't know.
I feel whatever you can get away with.
Here's a question: do we need gunpowder?
No. I
preferably, but I mean,
I love the fact. No, I love the fact that two tubby guys are asking the girl that's at least 10 years.
You're gonna outlive.
You
are so gonna outlive me.
So how are we gonna bury you? I've been how are we gonna I'm lucky.
Do you know what stupid shit that I do on a weekly basis? I'm pretty sure you guys are gonna outlive.
I want to have that anything my son is gonna listen to.
I'm not fun enough to die young, so I think I'm gonna outlive at least one of you.
So Fish will be shooting us both out of the Grand Canyon.
Sure. You know what? I'm fairly sure I can make gunpowder.
Was it 4 birthdays ago? 3 birthdays ago?
I don't know.
Where I'm I really want to do wheelchair jousting. Was my birthday wish.
See,
the reason why, and one of the real reasons why I didn't have it snowed like a bastard, and we're we can't do that shit.
See, the problem is his I want to do wheelchair jousting. My response is I'm in.
But it snowed like a bastard that year.
I know.
Oh my god!
We've got time. We need to do it on my birthday.
I didn't have the wheelchair anymore.
See, I have conversations with people where I want to get in taser fights and film it. So
see,
but wheelchair jousting, come on,
wheelchair taser fight.
See, what you need is to. I got this.
I feel like that's been done.
You need to attach the taser to the lance.
No, it's been done. I gotta say, it's been done.
You need a taser
really?
on a stick.
Have you ever seen Murderball?
No, I have not.
You need to go watch Murderball. It's one of my favorite movies. It is about the American paraplegic rugby team.
Oh my god,
right?
That sounds awesome.
And they are the most Joe Average, coolest kind of, I'd hang out with that guy any day of the week. And they beat the shit out of each other. And they did a thing for MTV with Jackass.
Oh my god.
Where they basically jousted with cattle prods. Which step up from tasers.
That's definitely a step up. Fuck that. I am not.
Yeah, here's the thing.
Suddenly not so tough, huh?
I
wouldn't fucking do it either. But I can turn my head away from the microphone and make it sound like I'm not saying shit because I can see the little squiggles.
No, it's still there. The problem is, when it comes to the tasing, it's never Andy wants to get tased. It's always Andy wants to tase.
Yes. Did I say, Fish, it would be awesome if you defibrillated me? No. I was please let me defibrillate you.
Oh my god.
To which I said no, and seriously
we
no.
We were super professional at that. and then there's this episode. We have a definitely kind of like arc in our episodes.
I don't know what you expected from me.
Oh,
It's pretty much this. This was
We've
kind of
known
where
you long enough to know what we expected and to meet you at that level and just really enjoy the shit out of it.
Fabulous.
But so you've heard one of our episodes. We kind of run this arc of, I don't really know you, and we're fairly professional to, we know you pretty well,
So
and this has gone horribly wrong.
I don't really think we could get to the monster stage with most people because I feel
like this one has kind of
it's
gone
close, but I mean nobody's jerked off in a bathroom.
I haven't had that experience, so I can't legit.
I swear to God, I thought it was gonna be like, sorry. Let me tell you,
There's an although.
Yeah, there is an although.
One of the
well, she lives in tents. There aren't many bathrooms in tents.
No.
So jerked off in an outhouse, or
I mean, I may or may not have walked to a friggin' outhouse in booty shorts because it was raining too hard, but.
Wait, huh? You walked in booty shorts because it was raining too hard?
It was raining, and I didn't want the bottoms of my pants to get wet.
Oh,
so I'm wearing pink booty.
No, I get it now.
Oh no,
at the time, I'm like, I don't get what raining has to do with it.
I don't know why
you took your pants off because it was raining too hard.
Yes,
that's fair.
And you're living in a tent.
That
but
sense,
one of the photographer, like I wouldn't even call him a photographer. I don't know what the hell he is. Dude's in Arkansas.
Like, on a scale from professional to me to sketchy dude with his camera.
Sketchy dude with his camera.
Wow, we've run into one of those. Was that you? No, I'm serious. Because you came to a convention with us to do a life drawing.
Did I tell you about this guy?
I don't know.
Wait.
The dude...
Because we brought someone to a life drawing at a convention. I think it might have been someone else we were talking about earlier, and I want to, like, name names and...
Oh, yeah, no. This is not the same story.
This
it might be the same guy.
This photographer dude, old dude, kind of heavy, gray hair, showed up and was like, was asking all kinds of questions, and our model got, like, super tense. And we're like, what's going on? What might be Lana?
Okay,
what's going on?
My,
what's wrong? And she's like, I know that guy. He like brought me out to a photo shoot and it went sketchy, like sideways, big time. And we're like, all right, well he's gone. Let's get rid of
Yeah.
So that wasn't you. Never mind. Sorry, listeners. Anyways,
this guy's one of the quicksand people, and I'm not gonna name names because I don't know like what slander and whatnot, but. My ex, and this is definitely a guy. If you ever get asked to do quicksand shoots in Arkansas,
she does not mean
but I feel like I know someone who has been asked.
Probably, it runs with the same circle.
Yes, okay.
Bring an escort for the love of God.
Yeah.
My ex was running backup cameraman, and he got so unbelievably pissed because it's this dude's fetish. Yeah. And he's standing there with an O face as I'm sinking. Thank God I don't see it. And he doesn't tell... My ex doesn't tell me this because he doesn't want me to be uncomfortable. And I got 2 more days of shooting this stupid nonsense.
Yeah.
And I treat photographers like bros. I will treat you like you are completely asexual because that's just the professional line that I want to keep.
Right,
I don't want to cross that line.
Makes sense.
And... like, this dude's having me doing shower-off scenes for the customers, quote-unquote. And I'm like, yeah, whatever, dude, I don't care. You're paying me enough that I don't give a shit. And then 2 days later, he's like, you know that when you were sinking down that he was making an O-face, and that's why I couldn't deal with it because I wanted to, like, clock him, right? I'm like, well, thanks for telling me 2 days later, asshole.
Yeah. I feel like
that's
with that kind of thing,
so
you
rough.
almost can't shoot your thing.
I feel like that makes sense.
Like I feel like as a
like if you were the photographer, you shouldn't be shooting
as a
your
professional
fetish.
thing. You should be shooting.
Well,
something
no,
for
like
something else.
I know some people who can do
else.
it, but maintain that professional line.
Yeah.
But if you can't maintain that professional line, you need to not do that. That's not cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But all in all, the model has to protect herself.
Oh yeah, definitely. I may or may not bring
Oh, sorry.
a knife in every now and then. Just
wait, what?
hidden.
I'm sorry.
Not now. Oh my god! I know you guys do.
Stabbed the motherfucker. Wait,
no,
what?
No,
what swamp is he buried in?
Just
I'm sorry.
as a precaution, if you have a knife or pepper spray that you bring in with you,
I
that
would
you
recommend
have
pepper spray just because I feel like I don't want to recommend anything that's.
Well, technically, it's not legal in Massachusetts, so I'm not going to condone that.
Mace.
Yeah.
You have to have a...
No, you have to have like a
FID
concealed
card.
carry
Yeah,
to
right.
do that. So I'm not going to...
So at this point, just bring a
If
shotgun.
you're modeling, I feel like you should get one of those.
Yeah, legally, quote unquote. And, but I've brought it in just in my pocket where I can access it quickly with no intention of using it. But if things go south, I can spray, scream, and run.
Wait, so have you brought a knife to Inebri-art?
Yes, I have. No,
She's
not to
gonna stab
Inebri-art.
us.
Not to
Son of a
Inebri-art.
bitch.
To a shoot, yes.
She's going to stab us.
First of all, Andy, she's going to stab you.
She's going to stab me.
I'm reasonably sure that if one of us is getting stabbed, it ain't going to be me.
It's going to be fucking me.
Damn straight
God
it is.
damn it.
Because remember, I'm the sidekick. Everything that I do wrong is Andy's fault.
Not for the face.
Okay.
Just
Wait, whoa! Hold on. What do you mean, okay?
Okay.
I'm going with this.
Okay, Amber, I say this is Andy's friend. If
I'm
you
calling out
stab
the next
him,
time.
Stab him on, like, the
No!
outside of the thigh.
Do you know what's a really funny...
I mean, aren't there arteries and shit there?
I don't want...
I feel like, yes.
More on the inside?
But you know what's a
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
really interesting fact? You're the only model that we've ever had that I have missed a life drawing.
Really?
It is not your fault.
It was your...
So now I do have to
Mostly
stab
your
you.
fault.
It was your second appearance, and I was working for Home Depot. Ugh.
Oh, okay.
And I got stuck down the Cape. I couldn't get out of it.
I mean, the Cape is kind of like that.
Cape's a horror show. I fucking hate it.
Which is why
Except for our listeners down the Cape. I love our listeners down the Cape. Hey, guys.
Just not the place.
Good luck.
Yeah.
And this is why I've been to more life drawings than anyone else.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the only life drawing I ever missed, was one of yours.
I have never missed one.
It was October, because we were...
That was that the one where I had the mask and the
Yes.
bloody wedding dress?
Yes.
You fucking missed out, dude.
I did.
Seriously, she
I
was-
did.
Yeah.
It was October, so I was busy setting Christmas.
I remember this conversation
Yeah.
too. That
I was super pissed, and I'm like, I'm stuck. I am down the Cape. I cannot make it.
I'm the
Oh my
only
God.
person
That's the only one I've ever
perfect.
missed.
I have missed one.
No one to
Games
blame but
podcast.
Home Depot.
I have never missed a life drawing because
Yeah. You're fucking great.
I mean-
Everybody loves you. Blah, blah, blah.
Look,
So, Fish,
Andy,
like,
all I know
some
is that-
crazy...
I'm gonna edit the
You might wanna-
sarcasm out of that.
You might want to edit the crazy part. Some drunk chick at the... I hope she doesn't listen to this. At the Food and Wine Expo was so great. She comes up to Fish. She's like, "You were here for the U2 show." And Fish is like, "No, I wasn't." And she goes, "This is the best part. Yes, you were." He's like, no, I wasn't. And it turns out she shopped at a grocery store he works at, but she was absolutely convinced he was at some YouTube cover band
Somehow,
show.
I was at a Jericho Tree show.
Yes.
Now,
Joshua Tree.
Joshua Tree.
Jericho.
I don't know.
Come on, if you're going to lie to the drunk chick, get it right. But
First
she
of all,
was just like, "No, you were here."
If
and
I'm
he's
gonna lie to
like,
the drunk
"No,
chick,
I
it
wasn't."
doesn't matter if I get it right.
Oh my god.
But yeah, it's like I was at the Jericho. It's like I don't like you two enough to show up to a cover
It was
band.
really funny because she was.
I mean,
adamant.
I've been to a YouTube cover band at a St. Patty's Day celebration, but I feel like that's when it's acceptable.
You're at a St. Patrick's Day celebration.
I got no-
everything is cool.
I got-
because you're
I-
at least kind of pretty goddamn drunk.
I got no problem with being at one. It's just
I
she
just
was
would-
so adamant that he was at something that he wasn't.
That's impressive, drunk.
And it was.
It was
well,
fun. It was a
it's
lot
one
of
of those
fun
things
last
where you-
weekend.
It's like you were there. I wasn't there. You were totally there.
She's like, "No, I wasn't there."
Yeah, you were.
No, I think you were.
It's like
Like that was like the
I
level of
have
her
been-
response.
I-
No, you
Oh
were.
my God.
And he's
I've
like, "No, I wasn't."
I've
No,
been to
I
Memorial
think you
Hall
were.
twice in my life.
Yeah, it was
Last
pretty
week
great.
was one. The Cameras and Cocktails we were in was the other. I've never
We
been in
did
that
two
building.
there, didn't we?
Oh
Oh, we
man.
only did one there.
And it was one of those things. It's like, yeah, it's like, well, I would know you from otherwise. I'm no local. Neither am I. Where are you from? Mansfield. Oh, I got this now. You shop at my store. Or she did,
funny.
not anymore.
Yeah.
And that's it.
funny.
Can't get it out. Cause
So I think this is pretty gibbishly random for our friends
Like-
being on the podcast.
I can't wait to try to edit
Like my
this.
life.
Yes, yeah. This
I honestly cannot wait to edit this down to something like
it'd be like 2 minutes long.
Understand?
So if you enjoyed the way that this podcast went kind of in and out and all over the place, follow.
Gypsyinspace.com.
Thank you. And where else can they, if there's a legit photographer / artist who wants to work with you, can they find it the same place?
The same place or That'll give links on the bottom of the page to my Facebook, my YouTube, and my Instagram. Facebook's the best way to contact me, though.
Okay.
You have a YouTube?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
mainly for, like, the shows that I go to. And whatnot.
Okay, it's just one of
Well,
those.
Yeah.
you do go to some pretty cool shows.
Yeah.
We were both at Rob Zombie earlier this
Yes.
Look, Andy, we've accepted that I'm the only person in Massachusetts who was not at that show.
summer. Yep, and that's why you're gay. And not in, like, a derogatory way.
Andy, no offense, there were a lot of gay people at that show because
Probably.
I'm the only one who wasn't there.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah.
You're not even cool enough to be gay. Oh,
There's
that's so sad.
There's a lot of shit I'm not cool enough to be, Andy. I accept that move on in my life.
So thank you, Amber, for coming on to our nonsense.
Thank you.
This was a lot of fun. Right up there with the Boxing Day special, because I feel like I'm gonna listen to this and be like, "What the fuck are we talking about?" Which is very much the Boxing Day.
Pre-show tequila shots are the way to go.
Yes, exactly.
I do agree with that. So for our listeners, do a shot of tequila before you listen to our show. It makes it better. And March 18th and 19th, we will be at the Dirty Water Distillery for our second art show there. Last time we gave away $350 in prize money. We're going to give away some more. We're going to have our friends there to vote. So if you want to submit a piece, get to our Facebook page, Inebri-art Facebook. And there'll be information to submit. If you want to email us about probably the horrible things I've said on the show, you can get us at inebriart@yahoo.com. And I think that follow us on Twitter. Follow Amber on Instagram because she doesn't do Twitter. Come to the Craft Beer Cellar in Plymouth. Did I get all the plugs? Oh, live drawing first Monday of every month at the New World Tavern in Plymouth. And I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm looking at the computer.
He's talking to the computer.
I am talking to the computer.
Why talk to the laptop? The laptop can't
Because
hear
it's
you.
distracting. There's like blue lines and stuff. So all that, and Liam, do your homework.